All right, feeling it. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, thanks. Hello, everybody. We are freezing in the basement because it is freezing outside again.
True. It's very cold.
It's very cold. We are back. It has been a minute or two.
That's all right.
Or like almost like a month and a half, 2 months since we have dropped an episode. But we're back with episode 33. Scottie Pippen. You always say Scottie Pippen when 33 gets.
I do. I was like, did I forget a line? I thought this was unscripted.
It is unscripted. That's why it didn't work. My name is Chelsea, and this is my best friend.
Hey, everybody. I'm Liz. Hello. I hope you're staying warmer than I currently am.
This is the
fantasizing about a beach.
Yes, right? This is the Body by Beer podcast, in case you forgot. Because we didn't. But anyways, the beach would be nice. What have we been doing over the last 2 months since we've seen you?
All sorts of stuff. Oh my gosh, so many things. We've been eating, we've been drinking, we've been traveling, we've been writing and publishing and editing and all the wonderful things. Lots of NAs, lots of foods.
Yeah.
Trying to stay up to date with politics and economics.
As much as one can.
It's been good. We're going to get into that more here in a little bit, but we just wanted to say hello.
Yeah. My big updates, let's see. We went to Panama in early December.
You can sing it. Panama! Before it may not have been cool to go to Panama. We went before it was totally uncool.
With the exploration of a couple things. Warm climate to go live in. Because it is lovely there. Lower cost of living than Colorado, which is nearly anywhere. And to kind of check out the brewing scene, which was fairly minimal. Yeah.
Pretty minimal.
Yeah. There's like one big craft brewery that was like pretty franchised out. There's like 6 within Panama City out of the
Jeremiah's Tap Room.
Out of like 9 breweries in there.
That just came somewhere from deep inside my brain.
But honestly, pretty solid beer. Like I would give them like kind of like the rock bottom kind of model, right? But better beer.
For
No
sure.
offense, rock bottom.
Super cute. Their logo is a frog wearing lederhosen.
Yeah,
all about that.
Old school frog. There's a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, almost looked like a salamander.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a frog.
And then a lot of the other brewers, like just the time we were there, they weren't open. They weren't early in the week. It was like either later in the week or just weekends. So we just kind of missed them, unfortunately.
Yeah. And when we got into Boquete, which is more in the mountains, because we went Panama City to Boquete.
Yep.
There was a couple breweries there. One happened to be open when we were there, and great opportunities for some fruited blondes or something of that nature, right? Because it's tropical weather.
Yeah. Doesn't
really get below 70 degrees when you're in the mountains, right? They're basically on the equator.
So cool.
So not a lot of temperature change.
No. The guy was American brewer.
Vamos Brewing.
Very hazy focus. Honestly, my first vibes were like I felt like he was from Oregon. I didn't quite get that story out of him, but he was giving me like Oregon brewer vibe. So I mean, it was great beer. I mean, the hazies were great. I think he had a couple sours on, a good clean lager that he had. And the tap room could not have been more stunning. I guess there was a brewery there before that was pretty mediocre that he took over. And man, just it's like the whole back patio was just a freaking jungle.
It butts right up to the bottom of the forest. Or jungle. The jungle. Sorry. Yeah. I almost stepped on a Mexican milk snake. Yeah. They have a couple of different names. They're non-venomous. Yeah. What's the trick to remembering?
Yeah, Liz freaked and then remembered to grab my daughter.
I'm like closer to 5'5" than I am 5'4", so I'm not very tall. But when I'm scared, my knees can come up to about 5'5". Which is impressive.
We finally got my 2-year-old to walk, and it was because she was walking with Auntie. And then Liz sees the snake and nearly just threw her at the snake as she high-kneed out. And I was like, oh. So the thing that I always grew up with was red touches black, you're okay, Jack. red touches yellow, you're a dead fellow. And it was red touches black. And so I was like, this is okay. I want to take a picture.
But it was big. It was like a solid 3-foot snake.
Yeah. Very well camouflaged. It was really pretty.
I totally could have got bit.
By something that doesn't have venom.
Right.
You'd have been like, oh, mosquito got me. Oh God, it's still attached and it's 4 feet long. That would have been the funniest if it would have stayed latched.
Oh my
Those
God.
high knees and that snake flopping on your high knees. That'd have been hilarious.
That's what nightmares are made out
Truly.
of. Gross.
All right, so then we came back and Liz boogied to South Dakota.
Yes.
Where you are currently working with your parents and helping them on their hunting lodge. You're fixing up one of the farmhouses, getting it as a rental. Finished up writing a book.
Yeah.
You're doing lots of cool stuff with that, and I think it's a really cool opportunity working.
It's fun hanging out with them.
Yeah, and you see your parents more, the fam more. Mm-hmm. Get some inspiration for some other beer pairing books in the near future. And let's see. Then I went up to South Dakota. Kevin, Liz, Zoe, and I actually went and saw you.
Yep.
We saw my parents.
My little farmhouse.
Yeah, saw hung out there at the farmhouse. Had to come back early because of a snowstorm. And then was back in Colorado for a couple weeks. And then Kevin, Zoe, and I flew off to London. Saw some of his family who were stationed out there. Had an incredible time. Had some good fish and chips. Lots of great food. A lot of fun with the kids. And then him and I went to Lisbon. Portugal also is a potential destination of warm weather.
It's so cold, my nose is running.
Fair. Lisbon was great. His family came out. We did not actually check out any breweries in Lisbon.
But you didn't. You did in London. Pubs.
Some pubs in London, yeah. We didn't get out a ton. It was kind of rainy. But again, there wasn't a ton of breweries as readily available as some
Colorado.
other places as Colorado, right? So anyways, that kind of summarizes up our travel.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so. A lot of
else.
Incredible food on the way, right? It's
food.
always good to bring up the food that we've been eating. We're going to get into more of that later as well, but a lot of awesome creations of our own.
Yeah.
It's hard to share a recipe with you because always just making this shit up as
Truly.
we go. But I'll try. If I get to it, would love to share some recipes. One I'm particularly proud of is a venison pumpkin stew. And I ate it for a week and a half.
Ooh, yeah. You inspired your mom to make a beer marinade for the ribs.
Oh my God. Yeah, I really want to talk about that. And that would be a good introduction into some of the other stuff we're working on. But she marinated deer ribs in a local Sioux Falls, South Dakota brewery, their amber ale. And then she made the barbecue sauce out of it.
Yeah, super cool.
I still haven't had it.
We're inspiring the world via beer.
Anyway, yeah.
That's us. That's what's been going on. That gives you as quick of a summary as we could spit. There's been a lot. And then on top of that, part of the reason we haven't had time to do the recording and editing and all of this fun stuff is we wrapped up some new books for you, but we'll tap into those here in a little bit. Obviously, dry January hit. NAs are up and kicking. I am drinking NAs for different reasons than Liz is drinking NAs. But here are some of our favorite NAs.
Why? I feel like you can't tease me.
I think they already know.
Did you?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought you didn't tell the world.
I don't remember. Anyways, I'm pregnant, so if you didn't know.
She seems really excited about it. Are you excited about being
running around
again?
with a 2-year-old with a pot belly is hard. It's hard work.
Yeah. And my reasons are because sometimes I like to drink too much.
This can be lush sometimes. But we explored a lot of different NAs and a lot of good, bad, and ugly. And we're sitting here right now with our favorite ones that we found over the last, we'll just call it 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
You hit them harder than I do, so I just kind of jumped on the bandwagon with you, which is kind of funny. Do you want to talk about yours first?
I would love to.
Okay.
I'm drinking the West Coast IPA from Best Day Brewing, brewed in California and some in Wisconsin. and they're founded in California.
Founded in California, and I think they have some distribution and
really good. They have a great variety pack if you can find them. The West Coast is great. The hazy is great. The Kolsch is great. It's really light, crackery, delicious. And then they have a Mexican lager with wine. Good. That one you can slam through. So really happy with these. Pick them up if you can.
Yeah.
And I like the yellow. This is a great yellow.
Yeah. Those are, I often find the NAs to be really honey, and I'm just kind of sensitive to the sweetness of honey. So I don't really like it. I'm not like a mead drinker.
Can I get anyone some more mead? I've been collecting the honey myself.
Tom has become something of an amateur beekeeper.
It's just at the right stage of fermentation. Oh, there you go. Drink as much as you like.
I feel like I'm drinking out of Chewbacca's. Oh, wow. That's just honey, huh? That's really hurting my teeth.
And these are not overly honey. Like, these actually taste like
beer. Yeah.
Actually taste like beer.
This one's super hoppy, danky. Like, it's sitting in my mouth like I'm chewing on the hops itself. It's delicious. If you're into that.
Yeah. So,
but it's also really clean, nicely carbonated. Refreshing.
Low cal.
Oh, yeah. 68 versus probably what? Close to 200 with a regular IPA, depending on how much is in it.
Yeah. So, that one would definitely recommend that brand. And this guy we actually just found the other day.
Yes.
Normally not a big Blue Moon drinker. I think we did the video of us doing the belly wit slide. Oh, which was the OG, the OG Blue Moon.
That really came from like.
I heard it. I grumbled.
Sorry.
Took us down a whole octave.
Stepping on that snake came out of nowhere.
That went up a whole octave.
Yeah, fair.
Anyways, the belly wit was incredible. Like, we were not expecting that when we went to the Rocky Stadium, and how good it was. This to me is closer to that than like Blue Moon. Like, it's a lot more orangey, bigger mouthfeel, almost a little bit creamier. Has lower a great ABV. Flavor. A very low ABV because there's none. And it was great. And honestly, I haven't been in the Blue Moon facility in a long time. And the reason we were in there is because we were out selling
your book.
My newest book. Yes. My only and newest is what we should say.
And you've probably seen it if you follow us. We've been pushing it pretty hard.
Yeah, this book is a labor of love, and it also had a point where I kind of hated it because of how much effort and the amount of times we blew this book up. I mean, we were literally launching it
right before Christmas.
Yep. And then Liz and I sat down and we're like, this isn't quite right.
Sucks.
Like the concept's there, but it's not quite right. Like, it could be better. Mm-hmm. And so we made the decision to blow up the book, make it better. And honestly, it came out fantastically. Anyways, whole concept behind this book is everyone that watches the show loves great beer and they want to go find great beer. The concept is, well, you know, a really easy way to know if a beer is good is if it's won awards. I know when I go into cities, I love like looking up new breweries and you look at like the stars, but like if I could go to a town and be like, what places, like I did this right after GABF often, like going to Minneapolis, what breweries won at GABF? It is really hard information to find in like a single source. Then you throw in the US Beer Championship and the World Beer Cup. All of those awards for Colorado is summarized into the book. You know,
for 2024. This is 2024.
2024, yep. So there's 47 different breweries. You know, I dropped in fun facts because I love fun facts. It's a little bit about the brewery, talks about the beers that won. So it's kind of your just easy travel to guide when you come to the area, or if you already live in the area and you're looking for good beer. They won an award. They're not going to suck. That's the best way I can put it. They won an award. They're not going to suck.
Yep.
So good beer guide basically is what we should have maybe just called it.
And every now and then they still, right? That
good beer guide.
Next edition. Change it to that. But it's super lightweight, easy to carry with you. And if you're not into carrying a book, you like to do your notes digitally, there's also an ebook version. So you can check that out as well. And
links in the bio to buy.
You want to, exactly. You want to love about a fun fact? It's like something to talk about when you go in. You're like, oh, I don't know what to say. Be like, I heard this place used to be a mortuary.
Yeah, gives you something to do.
Jared, do you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight the non-alcoholic near beer, zero proof options a little bit further. Just because within the last couple of years, I feel like they've come so far. I mean, you can still get your classic Busch NA, Coors Edge, Bud Zero.
Heineken, I feel like was the big one.
Heineken, and I like the Corona the best because you drop a lime in it. And you know what I discovered? People were like, it tastes just like Corona. I was like, cool, so it's not good unless you drop a lime in it. So it's just a shitty lime lager.
It was hard to make it worse.
I had one at volleyball with Brad, and I was like, this is good. I didn't like the Heineken on its own, but
because it just tastes like Heineken. Heineken's gross.
So is a Corona.
Yeah, personally. But there's a time and place for a Corona.
Fair.
But I have yet to find a time and a place for a Heineken. The garbage. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
I mean,
Heineken.
I think I had one in Amsterdam. I'm sure I did.
Yeah, probably.
But that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, they've been. I think at least for me, we talked about it a little bit with like us finding the ones that we were like. There's for me a lack of honey flavor tend to be the ones I'm citing for really enjoying more. But I think there's been a lot of advancements in the hops, malts, and yeast department of NAs that have really allowed it to grow and improve in flavor and actually kind of taste like beer again.
Yeah. So it's a great way. NAs are just such a great way to still get that flavor minus the alcohol, minus the calories, right? And if you love those flavors, it's truly a guilt-free way to just go about and just do you, boo. Like that is the best way to stay consistent with that. And that's what I found. And a lot of bubbled water options as well. Kind of played around in the cocktail option as that. Fresh fruits, fresh herbs, and then of course, serve them in a big beautiful cup or goblet. Excuse me. The micheladas are probably like favorite, right? So going out to eat at some really good local Mexican restaurants, and my favorite part is, can I get the michelada but with soda water? Yep. And no alcohol.
They taste the same.
Oh my god, so good. I mean, it's all about those spices anyway.
Yeah.
So I always judge a Mexican restaurant by two things. Well, now two things. It used to be one thing. The one thing used to be the hot sauce that they offer.
What? Not the salsa?
Used to be two things. Definitely hot sauce, definitely salsa, and now like the spices that they use for their micheladas.
I did read a funny story about, is it Birrio? Bureau,
Spider-Man's, Tom Holland.
Yeah. Did you see this story?
I didn't see it.
He went into a Target to buy his NA, and he didn't have his ID, and they wouldn't sell it to him.
Yeah, you still have to be 21 or older to purchase NA.
Sometimes they don't always enforce it.
I have been carded every time, and I'm 40. Now
you
can cut that.
He couldn't buy it,
cut that.
And then an employee realized who it was, and so they like went and bought it for him so he could take his own NA beer home.
That's awesome.
Really good stuff.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it drinking and driving with an NA, or is it open container, or is it just like driving around with soda?
I think it'd be driving around with soda. There's no alcohol in it.
But you have to be 21 to buy it.
Yeah, I think they're just trying with the 21 to buy it. I think it's an attempt of not getting younger people addicted to the flavor of beer. I think that's the reasoning. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's stuck at the 21. It seems kind of silly to me, but anywho, that's what it is. Like I used to get carded for the hop waters, and I don't get carded for hop waters anymore. The Lagunitas was also one of your favorites that we found. Maybe we can do a quick summary.
That was my favorite last year. And now my favorite this year is Best Day.
I'm pretty sure if you read your notes, you said it's still your favorite.
I haven't read these notes since yesterday.
So I would say give us top 5 NAs.
The Lagunitas coolers, the flavored hoppy waters.
Yep, those are good. The blue one was my favorite blue can.
Brooklyn Brewery at number 4. Their grapefruit IPA is marvelous.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I actually would put the Lagunitas IPNA. That would probably be my number 3 because that definitely got me through a lot of the beginning. I got it. Okay. So number 2 would then be Sober Carpenter.
Yep. I just remember that.
And
too.
then this guy right here. And honestly, the only reason why I'm not picking the Sober Carpenter over the Best Day, because I did like that Sober Carpenter. They had a double dry hop hazy. They had a really good sour. Their West Coast had just a touch more flavor than this one, where this one's like chewing on the hop itself. That one had a little bit better malt flavor to it in with the hops. Is because the calories were off the charts. Why? Because it tasted so much better. And right, like the more you're putting into it, the more.
There were tall cans too, I think, right?
Also fair. They were 16 ounces. Yeah. They were pounders. But this is the all around gem right here. This guy right here. And I did not say athletic, did I? Okay. Right. Personally, I think too honey, too malty.
Yeah, I don't really like a lot of the athletics.
They were a good option for what they were right away.
I like the Goza.
The Goze, yeah, the Goze is good. So my nose is just straight up running.
Yeah, the Goze was good because it wasn't as honey-y, but the other ones to me always came off.
And I did drink my fair share of the athletics.
This is probably my number one, but I've been off of.
That one's really good too.
It is really good. I was really surprised. I went in pretty low expectations when I ordered it, but was like, fuck it, let's try it. I just noticed last pregnancy, same thing. I just have not been as big of a hop head. The boldness of the hops have not been appealing to my palate. And I haven't really found a great NA sour. We've tried a handful. The Guinness NA is good as well. That'd probably be my top 3 list is probably the Guinness, the Lime Lager, and then this guy. Mm-hmm. The other piece, like probably too much information, not that bad, but at least for me, being pregnant, I just feel full all the time. Drinking a bunch of bubbles is not that overly appealing. So I just haven't been drinking a lot of bubbles because it just makes me feel even more full. So,
and I'm hungry and thirsty all the time. So
I'm definitely thirsty, but I'm just like, oh man, I just feel more bloated. And I'm like, I don't need to feel more bloated right now. Quick little update on the show. We're going to make some revamps to it. We're going to try to keep it a little bit tighter. Still be doing the different segments, but airing those separately instead of in one big long format. We're hoping that will allow us to have quality over quantity and give us a little bit more time to be able to focus on perfecting what the point is and what we're trying to say and really pack the punch. Yeah. So you'll see some changes in there. We'll get some interviews up and rocking again soon. So if anything, it's going to probably be for the podcast section is going to be a little bit of an intro. We're going to hit the brew news and then the interview. And then we'll do like the fun facts trickled throughout the weeks. We'll do Brews and Bites later, some version of a top 10-esque thing. But you're gonna see some changes over the rest of the season.
And more beer influencers as well. Yeah. So a lot of you that actually watch the show. So we're looking forward to having you on as well.
So I guess with that, we could jump into the brew news now, which we're gonna rename. We just don't know what we're gonna name it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's get into some industry specifics because I'm really excited for this. We had a good conversation about it earlier as a bit of a fluffer, if you will. And you may or may not know, most of you probably do know, I mean, there's tariffs going into play, right? 25% that definitely affect.
What tariffs are going on?
Yeah. Have you heard this? Have you seen this? Have you watched this? Do you have this on your radio?
I've heard
on your
tariffs
phone?
More on the last
Have you read
month
your phone?
than I knew of my whole life combined.
Yeah, tariffs.
Tariffs. Anyway, sorry. That's a distraction.
For rats. Backwards. Or snurraffs. It's a snarky giraffe.
That's kind of funny, actually.
So anyway, so we want to talk about that a little bit, and how that's affecting the industry. And what's interesting is it's not just the craft beer industry, right? It's not just the beer industry. It's also the soda industry, bubble water, non-bubble water, whatever goes into aluminum can, right? That's what we're talking about here, which is a lot when I look at the recycling bin and what have you, and what's going out in that, tin cans, whatever.
Tinned fish.
All right, welcome to this week's Brews and Bites. We are so excited to be talking about no other than tinned fish. Yeah, so why don't you get into that a little bit more? Okay. Because I feel like you understand that a little bit better. I'm here for tasting and good looks. Chelsea's really here for literally all of the above. She won the awards on what you get when you come out of the womb. But
I don't know if that's a compliment.
It is. I didn't say hit the ugly tree on the way down.
Feels a little backhanded.
how does that really flow through an industry that is already, struggling? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, 2018, a 10% tariff hit aluminum, and that was detrimental for a lot of breweries to maintain it. You started seeing, I think there's a little bit of COVID hit, and so to-go became really, really popular. But you also saw there were shortages of cans, and people started bumping up into larger cans because the costs made more sense. Yep. Not even just from a beer side, but from a can cost side. And through all that, we just kind of kept seeing prices increase. The tariffs on aluminum, that 10% never went back down. And now I think to-go is just going to kind of disappear. I don't think breweries are going to be able to handle it. Most of them, especially not the small ones. Or just have somebody else
do it?
I think there's going to be a chance of it. I think there's probably going to be a bit of contract brewing that jumps up. If you really have to can stuff, I think you're going to have to ship that to the bigger people that are ordering more cans in bulk. I mean, there's even talk of I'm sure the big guys can handle it, but it's going to hurt them too. And at the end of the day, the cost is going to get pushed on the consumer. Yeah.
And with consumers that are already considerably
annoyed with how high the prices are.
I was going to say drinking less, but even if you're drinking bubble water like me, I'm probably going through more aluminum now because I'm not drinking as much alcohol, right? Because I'm used to getting so much on tap.
Yeah.
Shit. I just realized that.
Yeah.
I'm being a very big consumer right now. I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, go ahead.
So, I mean, I think it's going to be really hard. I just think you're going to see a lot less to-go going on in the smaller breweries. I think you're going to see an increase of growlers coming back. And I think it's going to hit the smaller places really hard. I mean, to-go sales was such a big bump. I mean, even when I was managing breweries, that was the biggest push of throw it on. I mean, you're increasing most orders. I think we averaged 18% was the average ticket increase by pushing to-goes. That's huge. I mean, that's huge for your tips. That's huge for the business. And all of a sudden you're taking that away. That was just at the breweries I was at. I don't know what other breweries are maybe higher or lower than that, but I don't know. It's rough. It's already a hard space, and this did not help anything. So there's our Debbie Downer. You're welcome.
I love Debbie so much. I'm like, I see you. I had no idea you were down here. Quite a bit last year, with Ashley from Bierstadt and her idea of what she thinks about contract brewing and just your own experience of, stuff you've learned about if you wanted to invest and purchase a brewery and depending on the size of the system, for the smaller guys, there's no way that the medium, small, medium, large aren't out there hey, we feel like this is going to hit you this kind of hard, but if you come with us, it's a win-win because we can get these numbers down to X, whatever that is.
So, I think we're going to continue seeing consolidation. I think we're going to see contract brewing increasing. Not that you're going to necessarily notice it. I think we're going to potentially see a lack of variety. Because, the easiest way to pump up contract brewing is just to white label a beer that is perfected and does sell well.
Yeah.
But that gives you less variety in the space and gives you less craft, which is unfortunate. But, costs are costs. And if you're not running it as a business, it's a hard business to run right now. Everything that involves feeding or drinking people is expensive right now. Restaurants are facing the same issue. We've had restaurants closing left and right.
Don't get me started on downtown Denver restaurants. There's a lot of good food, and I'm not saying there's a lot of bad food out there, but there's a lot of bad food out there.
Bad foods, coming after you when you steal our tooth. Bad foods, coming after you when you steal our tooth. The juice is loose.
Just like a lot of people, the service is fine. The atmosphere is good, but, and no offense, Applebee's, but if I'm going to go to fucking Applebee's, I go to Applebee's. I don't want your microwave nachos when I'm paying $30 for a plate of nachos.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And I ain't even drinking beer, right? It shouldn't be that expensive. Anyway. So, I feel for the food industry, beer is food, but that side of the industry too. But at the same time, I think there was a big quality dip in the food as well. Yeah, wondering if like other people are cooking as much as we are. And I'm sure to an extent, right?
Up in their snack game.
Up in the snack game. Yeah.
What snacks would you pair with beer, Liz?
What kind of snacks? Oh, you're doing jerky. I'm on the fence with this, and you know, like I'm a really big fan of this book, and I'm also not at the same time. And I don't know whether it's appropriate or not if I say it, but I kind of want to say it because I really like this jerky. This is some delicious, tender beef marinated in some of your favorite craft beer styles. IPAs and ales and lagers and pilsners. The pilsner one might be one of my favorites. So I was at the time feeling fortunate enough that we met these individuals, and Sean's a really great guy, the guy that owns it, him and his buddy.
Busy peeps.
Busy people. Sent us a whole bunch of jerky, and so I spent like the better part of 2 months just eating jerky and drinking beer and taking notes about it. Yep. It was wonderful.
tough life we live here, guys.
And so the collaboration is that, I'll write the book about it, and we'll do some collaborative marketing together for it. And similar to Chelsea's book, this book got blown up hardcore right at the end.
The 11th hour blow up.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir? I bite my thumb at you.
I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it. Huh?
Anywho, so we're still working on that collaborative release part. Really proud.
But you can get the book.
You can get the book. Check it out.
Yeah, we've got
and
it
you
on
can
our
get the
ship.
jerky as well. Obviously,
Links are below.
The pairings are phenomenal, and I'm sure there's some pictures of me eating the jerky in here somewhere.
We don't have the package bundled. We're waiting for them to bundle the package. So right now you can get it, you can experiment, you can see everything Liz is talking about. You can eat the jerky, drink the beer, learn all the stuff. You just have to buy the book and then buy the jerky separately. Like the collab is combining those two together, and the combo package is not currently available, but it's getting work done.
You can go to the Boozy Jerky website. We do have an affiliate link, and you can use that and get a 15% discount.
Yeah. You're welcome, world.
And then go to Amazon and buy the book to figure out what's good to nosh on when it comes to the jerky and beer flavored world.
It's not the great.
Sorry,
it's not the
you
best
did
user
much
experience.
better. I'm sorry. I'm all Debbie Downer over here.
Debbie Downer. It's a bummer they we would have liked to have talked this through with having the combo together. A great user experience for you guys. They're still working on it, and honestly, we didn't feel the need that we needed to keep waiting. Like, this is a really awesome fucking book. The pairings are so good. It's a lot of fun. It's a great experience. It's a great gift combo. Just unfortunately, the experience for you to have to go buy the collab in 2 different places isn't great. If you're willing to do it, use the links below. Like Liz said, you get a 15% discount. We would very much appreciate it.
We get a kickback for
and
that.
Send us photos. Talk about it. Like, we want to hear what people think. Thus far, from people who have bought the book and the jerky, like, we've been getting a lot of really great reviews.
Good feedback,
and feedback from it. So we know it's a lot of fun. And we've been working our asses off. We've been writing books, y'all.
If you haven't figured it out yet, one of my favorite things to do is to just sit around and eat and drink.
Whose is it?
I used to say minimum dinner reservation was 2 hours. I wanted at least 2 hours to be able to sit at the table and go through a couple bottles of wine or beer or whatever it is and talk about each bite. And the older I get and the more time I spend eating and drinking, the more I run into. You're either really excited to do that or you're like, I don't care. I tend to hang out more with people who are excited about that, and just have a good time with it. Like,
it's a good time. Go make your own
something to talk about.
Yeah. So there it is, guys. There's our updates. That's what we've been up to. That's why we haven't been pumping out videos. We've been writing books. All of the links to get those books will be available We would love if you buy them. We are honored by it. Talk about it. Let us know if they helped you out, if you had any fun with them. And we want to know your thoughts, not just on the books, but on what we talked about today. NAs, tariffs. What have you been eating and drinking? Have you found any cool pairings? Hit us up. Let us know. We like hearing about it. And you never know. Maybe you throw out a really good pairing and we make it on the show. We'll give you a shout out for it.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Or
don't give us sucky ones. We won't do it. But good ones we will.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, and if we're out and about, see you on the road, like, make sure to say hey. We super appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And like Chelsea said, share your stories. We want to hear from you, you know. We appreciate all the current interaction, and it's just been pretty awesome getting to know everyone and continue to be able to do this. So we're super appreciative for that, and we're super excited for everything we've got in store for you as well, right? Like,
we appreciate you guys reaching out. We did kind of disappear. Sorry about that. We had a lot going on. So
I feel like you've apologized for that for like 4 times.
Still cared about us. It was really nice. So we appreciated it. But you'll be seeing us more. We actually do have some interviews lined up. We're going to get some more brewery interviews because you guys loved those. And some breweries, like you said, with some other influencers in the space. And we'll chat beer and you'll be seeing more of us. We won't be gone for so long again. And with that, we bid adieu. And we say, cheers.
See you next time.
Bye. Life monumental moment. This is drowning. Oh, yeah, let me get one. It's a good grab. Oh, I needed to go over. Sorry, sir.
It's snowing, and we're happy.